Hi there, it's Julianne with another episode of Mothering Matters. Today, Eternity and I are going to share probably her favorite song. This is the one that she sings the most, and the one that she wants to sing over people, the one that she wants to share with other people. And I think that it's probably because it is the most practical for her on a day-to-day basis, and she really draws from it. We just call it Like the Rain song. And really where the words came from was from Psalm 46. So Psalm 46, probably a just very well-known passage for most people. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Really, that's it. Psalm 46, verse 1. Just the understanding and the idea that God is available, He is willing, and He is ready to help me. I wrote this song so long ago that in the context of making this video, I forgot that it's also from Psalm 3, verse 4. It says, I cried to the Lord with my voice, and He heard me from His holy hill. So it's just the thought that we need to lift our voices to the Lord, because as we do, He does hear our voice, He does hear our cries, so we need to speak out when we are in trouble. Let's share the song, and then we'll dive into a little bit more of application afterwards of how we can integrate this with our kids. When I'm in trouble, when I need help, I lift my voice to the God of heaven. He hears my voice, He hears my cry, and He sends down help every time, like the rain. Okay, so the whole idea is just that God is a very present help in time of trouble. And obviously, depending on what age we are, trouble can mean different things. But the actual psalm itself is pretty intense, because if you keep reading, it's talking about the waves of the sea roaring, mountains crumbling, just great physical disturbance to the earth. And it's in context to the Lord's second coming. It's talking about Him ceasing all wars, and that the people of God, in the midst of this great disturbance on the earth, they are tapping into a source of joy and gladness that comes from the river of God. And they know that He is available and present to help them in the midst of a great shaking upon the earth. I think we've seen little bits of that throughout the earth, obviously with tsunamis and earthquakes and things like that. But Jesus in Matthew 24 really highlights how those things are birth pains, pestilences, plagues, earthquakes in the earth, but they are like birth pains, and that as we near His return, they are going to increase in intensity and increase in the duration between the occurrences will become shorter. Just like a woman who is going into labor, the contractions come on stronger, there's less time in between, and it gets very intense. And the earth is going to go through the same type of birth into the new age. And so as we near the return of Christ, as He ushers in the next millennial age, the earth is going to experience great tribulation, great disturbances. And Psalm 46 is a promise that in the midst of that, in the midst of the earth literally being shaken by the hand of God, because as it says in Isaiah 24, if you look at that passage also, God shaking the earth because of the sin and iniquity. The earth is literally like a drunken man reeling to and fro. And God is going to come in that context to bring in the new age. There's a lot behind that. I'm not going to keep going into that. But the whole point is that in the midst of our physical surroundings around us being so chaotic, God is present to help us in that moment. So as I'm raising my kids, I'm looking ahead to, they might be the generation that the Lord returns. I might be. Their kids might be. How do I prepare them? It's in simple things like this where the knowledge is instilled in them at a very young age. Like, God is here to help me. If I am in trouble, if I'm having a difficult time, then where am I going to turn? I want my kids to begin, even in the smallest instances, be turning to the Lord, be talking to Jesus, because that is why he died. It was to be with us, to fill us with himself, so that he would always be with us. He never wanted to be apart from us. And so, in just this really simple way of teaching our kids, if you're having trouble, if you're in a difficult circumstance, God is with me. All I have to do is open up my mouth, begin talking to him, and he will send help. Obviously, we know that as we age, the help might not be immediate, and it might look a little different than what we want, but the point is that God is here, and I'm going to live by faith that God is with me, no matter what I'm feeling, no matter what's happening around me. So with Eternity, when she's trying to learn something new and it's frustrating, like when we're doing little school projects, when she gets hurt, when she feels frustrated because, I'm not letting her do something, those are the times that we call upon the Lord, because he is the one that gives us wisdom. He's the one that gives us healing. He's the one that gives us comfort in the midst of crazy emotions. And so this song, again, it's very simple, but the whole point is to train our kids. Like, God is here, he's with me, and I just need to engage with him when I'm needing something.
When it hit her head, she gets and paid. She is hit her voice to the God of heaven. She hears her voice, she hears her cry. He sends the help every time, right away.
Yes, God is always here to help us. Come here. Well, thanks for joining Eternity and I today. Just remember that when you're in trouble, when you need help, all you have to do is lift your voice to the God of heaven, because he hears you and he will send you help like the rain every time, because he is our very present help in time of trouble. Until next time, Mothering Matters.
It's a bee.
No. Yeah, there might be. There's probably one flying around. Oh, I see it. You're right. No, we don't pick up bees, honey.
Why?
Because they could sting you. God is here. There's a beautiful bird flying overhead. Sorry. Distracted. It's a squirrel. But it's a bird instead.
I need to see the vision. I see you there.
When do we ask God for help?